That's right. Hello, everybody. Hello, future bestsellers. We are super excited to see you guys today. Woohoo! We are very fired up. And you may notice that Robert is not with us today. He's picking up Georgie from the airport. She's coming home. Yay! So he's going to be doing that. So we're very excited about that. Yay! All right, let's say hi to some of our friends in the chat. We're in a mood today, aren't we?
I think
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun stream. So let's say hi to our friends in the chit chat, and then we will talk about what we're gonna talk about today. I don't have anything. We'll talk about whatever we talk about today.
That's right.
Mama Ward, hello. So glad to see you. Thanks for being first today. We are very glad to see you. Lady Davis is here. Lady, I just got your text and I'll be answering during the stream. Mary Putnam is here. Yay. Mary is this close to launching her book, and I'm super excited about that. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Awesome. It's fantastic. Devin's here. Hello, Devin. Super glad to see you today. Whew. Christy's here. Good morning. Proofing the second book in my private detective mystery series. Woo, love that. I'm also doing some editing today, not proofing, but editing. Well, proofing and editing, but mostly editing. Yeah. What are you going to be working on today?
Ghostwriting. Got that deadline in about a month. So
yeah, like this. So, one of my book coaching clients is a woman named N.S. Johnson, who is a fantastic romance author. And she is writing a book. I'm helping her write a book about how to write a romance novel in 21 days. And because she's a former TV, like a former Hollywood screenwriter. And so I think it's just like such a fascinating experience, and she's smart as she can be and prolific. So I'm like so excited to dig in on this. I almost just crossed right over. Hello, cool gamer. We're so happy to see you today. I want to know this. So normally I'm like blown out light. I think I just need to figure out my camera is my problem. So normally I look like a ghost. And I think part of that is that the sunscreen that I typically wear on my face every day is a barrier sunscreen. So I think it has like zinc in it, which probably makes me reflect like a ghost.
Yeah.
But I'm not wearing any makeup today. So yeah, so I'm thinking like, but I feel like, oh, it's so dark today. And so I have like my extra light on, the whole thing. I think I just need to figure out my camera. Susan, we're super happy to see you today. Very nice. Maz is here. Hello. We are very glad to see you this afternoon. Daisy's here. Woohoo. Just texted you. Ooh, we got such a good group today. Ray is here. Hello. I know, right? Love her. Aw, thank you so much. I would say, like 2 seconds before we came on, I was telling Michelle, I'm like, the terrible thing about wearing reading glasses instead of regular glasses is that I'm constantly taking them off and on all day. And so they're always gross because I'm always touching them. So yeah, there's that. Yeah. Okay. So you guys let us know in the chat what you're going to be working on today. I will be working on editing Ghost Project, and Michelle's working on writing a Ghost Project, and Robert is working on routing his way to the airport today, which is awesome. And let us know what you guys are going to be working on in the chat. Savvy's here.
Hey.
Hello, Savvy. We're super glad to see you today. Very nice. Woohoo. All right, guys. Ooh, Susan's got a book review, then a ghosty short story. Ooh, love that. Love. All right, guys, let's go ahead and put our 5-minute timer up on the screen. Dun, dun, dun. All right, there we go. So we're going to put 5 minutes up on the clock. You can get your document open if you're going to be writing today, or get yourself set up for whatever else you're editing or whatever else you're going to do today. Get your giant vat of caffeine, and let's get rolling. Here we go, everybody. We're going to put 5 minutes on the clock. I sound like a game show hostess. Let's put 5 minutes up on the clock. Do, 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 do. Okay, and here it goes. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's write. All right, we are back. I should get rid of that banner happening. Whew. All right. So I'm excited. I'm excited and energized. I feel like I'm having a good week this week, so that's good. I was super productive yesterday, which is always I know, right? I'm feeling really good about it. I have been pretty good about tracking my writing. I know we talked about that last week, and I'm really this is the thing. I know it works. I've literally done videos on oh, this is a nice hairdo. I've literally done videos on why you should track your so this morning my hair was all crazy and I was like, oh, I have like cute curly Michelle hair this morning. I think because I went out in the rain last night.
Fun. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Just on the exactly. So I know it kind of depends. Like I pull my hair up a lot, so sometimes it ends up straighter, but my hair it's not quite as curly as yours. It's a little more wavy, but certainly if I let it have its way, it does that. So, but I was like, "Oh, it's cute this morning. I'm gonna go do that." And then, yeah, now I see like I've got these random like springy hairs. That's okay. Still adorable. I'll just sit taller in my chair. Anyway. Anyway, I'm just in a really great mood. So it's been working really well. Really, really well. So, and I'm really glad to see that a number of people have downloaded it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lisa should do a game show. So it's funny that you say that because so Mary's husband was one of my authors when I worked for Ocean View Publishing. And I did do a game show for the US Book Show where I did Readers Ask Authors game show. And that, my friends, is where we got that 1970s game show audience that I always love to put up whenever you guys do something awesome. Yeah. So I will track down. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh my God. All right. You guys want to see something fun? Here's the game show that I did. I forgot that I have the intro.
Oh my God.
So it's just the intro. It's not the show, but at least you can get the thing. Here we go, guys. Dun, da, da.
From Ocean View, the publishing capital of the world, in color, it's your favorite literary game show, Readers Ask Authors. With an extraordinary panel of special guests and your wonderful host, Lisa Daly.
That was amazing.
You have your wish, Mary. I have now done a game show. So,
Oh no, she vanished. Oh my gosh, Lisa. I guess the ghosts are at it again. That was like the most retro introduction I have ever seen. What in the world?
StreamYard does not love me today. I do not know what that is. Thank you very much. So yes, Lisa did game show. Finalizing my August publish of the Spartan. Okay. Chimera.
Chimera.
Right?
That's
what I always thought, but I have been corrected by other people. What
Mm.
I should do is go over to the handy dandy Merriam-Webster site and play the little audio version, or it might be one of those books or one of those words where either pronunciation is correct, but I am curious as to how you are pronouncing it. All right. Lainey says, okay, now travel. She and I are like, we're both going to Nink, and we're like, oh, she's gonna stay with me the night before we go, and we are like chit chatting back and forth. So anyway, yay! I'm super excited about that. Savvy, 255 words.
5 minutes.
I know, right? You're killing it. That's a good title for a book. Still adorable.
Lisa's memoir.
Yeah. Aw, thank you. Yeah. So, oh my God, that is fantastic. So I have never heard a story of you or Dave being on game shows, but I know that Dave's mom was on Queen for a Day, which was like a game show, in the 50s or 60s, and they bring like a housewife on, and she'd be queen for a day. And I think I want to say Dave's mom got a new refrigerator and I don't know. Anyway, but I think that's lovely. It is, because I actually also have a relative who was once on Queen for a Day. But I think part of that is like, that's just a thing people did if you live like in proximity, in Los Angeles. So anyway, there you go. Do you like that? Thank you. You guys are so awesome. Anyway, Chimera. Okay, fantastic. It did totally. Oh my God, you were on the Love Connection. I love that. I remember watching that like when I was like when I was like a teenager or a kid. It was like in syndication. So I mean, I assume you were on in the later years rather than the earlier years. But yeah, absolutely. Chimera. There you go. All right.
So totally wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like one of those words that you never used to see at all. And now I feel like I see it all the time. But I have had multiple people say, oh, no, you say it this way. Oh, no, you say it this way. And I always ask because I'm curious, like at least what the consensus seems to be. So, yeah. Wasn't there? Yes. Was it Ted Bundy?
Was it?
I think so. I think it might have been Ted Bundy. Now we're going to all be Googling serial killer.
Okay. I was about to say, why is there not a book about essentially a serial killer on a dating reality show? And then I remembered I literally just read one that's actually the premise, and it was so good. And now I'm totally blanking on the name of it, so I'm looking it up on my phone.
Oh, good. Yeah,
it was really good.
You got to tell us the title with that.
I will. I'm gonna. It's gotta be in here somewhere.
So, that is hilarious. Wait, I still remember that. Like, what was it? Was it Wink Martindale? I can never remember who did this. The really funny thing is, you guys know I did this show called Daytime. Oh, what was the book?
One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. It's Ruth Ware's newest book. It's like they're supposed to be on a dating reality show like Love Island. It's
like Love Island.
But a massive storm hits and it turns into Survivor by accident, and there's also someone, I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, Love Island turns into Survivor. If that sounds like your thing, please read that book. It is so fun. It was really
That's great. That's great. Ooh, Mary was on 25 words or less, which totally wanted to tell them should really be 25 words or fewer. Can't turn off internal editor. I freaking love that.
Good.
I freaking love that. I will say that when I was on the daytime show, which I was on for like 15 years, we often did sort of game show themed shows. So I definitely I did like oh my god, what's that? Oh my god, what's that game where you draw the clues?
Wait, you mean not like a game show, but like just a game, like Pictionary?
Yeah, well, there was a game show that was a Pictionary game show, weirdly
Really?
enough. Yes. Yeah, there's a whole network of game shows. There's some weird stuff. I used to always love like those word
it is
guess
Pictionary.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. But I used to always love those like word guess games where you'd
Yeah.
have the clue and then the other. I love those when I was a kid. Love. That does sound like a great book. Great book. Savvy would like to be on a game show one day, and I can totally
You would
see
be
that.
great. I
You
could see
would
that.
be great.
So clearly.
Pictionary. Yes. Password was the game that where like the one person gave a clue and the other person guessed out like that. If the Horror Geek and I were ever on that, we would kill. We would completely kill. Very nice. Savvy says one of these days I want to try out for Family Feud or America says with my
Do
family.
it.
Yes. I love it. That's completely awesome. All right. So our second question, we're gonna set up for a 20-minute writing sprint. But our first question of the day after what are you working on today is going to be, if you were going to go on a game show, which one would you want to go on? It can be any game show, past or present. Like whether or not, regardless of whether or not it's still on the air, like what's your dream game show that you would like to go on? Do you guys remember what was that game show that was popular? It's a very Gen X game show. It was like they say big bucks, no whammies. Press your luck. Do you remember that game?
Vaguely, very vaguely.
Oh, I used to love that. I don't know. I think it was just a catchphrase. Big bucks, no whammies. Big bucks, no whammies. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Wheel of Fortune. Love. I feel like in some ways, like some of the game shows that were on like the earlier sort of like 70s game shows where they did crazy stuff like running through a supermarket in 23 seconds or that kind of thing is pretty fun. Oh, Price is Right.
Yeah, and don't forget all the awesome Nickelodeon game shows when we were kids, like Double Dare and all that.
Yes.
I would have loved to have done that as a kid.
Oh my god, me too. Absolutely. Always cheered for the whammies. That's hilarious. Savvy wants to go on the revival of Name That Tune with Randy Jackson because you can win like 100,000, but it seems like a lot of pressure.
Oh my god. See, that's the thing. I suck under that kind of pressure. Any show like that, and I would look like the dumbest person on earth because all knowledge would fly out of my brain.
Oh my god, I cannot believe we're talking about this and I have not mentioned the fact that the Horror Geek was literally on a game show.
Oh, really?
Yes, you want to know where he got the name The Horror Geek? He was the Horror Geek on Comedy Central's Beat the Geeks.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
so cool.
I know, it's hilarious. The really funny thing is like when I first met him, we would laugh about we laughed about his history as a Z grade celebrity, as he calls himself. And I used to watch The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, and Beat the Geeks came on right after that during the years that Mike was on the show. And the funny thing is I vaguely remember the show. I didn't watch it at the time, but I used to work in advertising, and Jon Stewart hosting The Daily Show was kind of funny because Jon Stewart gave me my very first advertising award. He was the MC for the yeah.
I'm sorry, does that mean you have actually been face to face with Jon Stewart?
He handed me a statue. Wait, hold on. Do I have it in my office?
Oh, Lisa.
He handed me a statue.
I am melting. I love Jon Stewart so much.
He was
Lord.
young. He was so young. He was. I mean,
I know that's not a hot take either. Like everybody loves Jon Stewart, but
right. That's
so wait,
true.
was this when he was like in his first Daily Show era, or was this pre-Daily Show?
First Daily. I think it was first Daily Show era.
God, I watched his Colbert Report every day.
I know.
Every day.
I know. So yeah, that's my little story. Well, I just got fame everywhere I look, don't I? But yeah. So the Horror Geek was in fact on a game show. I think he was only the crazy thing is they would give the contestants super easy questions, but the geeks got like these insanely difficult questions. So, and he was only bested once, and weirdly enough is still friends with and in contact with the guy who beat him on the show.
Yeah.
But it was a total fluke. He just had like a moment. But yes, that is it. So if you guys yeah, if you guys have another game show that you think of while we're writing, definitely let us know. But I love hearing your game show fantasies. I think this is like the most fun topic we've had in a while. It's kind of hilarious. Okay, my hubby and his nutty family went on Family Feud, but I haven't seen it yet. Never saw my own episode of Love Connection. Oh no, it aired sometime. You could probably well, I don't know if you could pull it'd probably be expensive to get the tape, but it might be worth it. Okay. Let's go ahead. Ooh, here we go. Funhouse. Oh yeah. Yeah. Miss Texas says I could not go on Name That Tune because I wouldn't remember the title, but the song would be stuck in my head. Me too. Me too. I love that. Yeah. So yeah, it's funny because at the sort of height of his fame and Stephen Colbert's fame, he was obviously a comic on the Daily Show, but and this was I think during the Obama years. I remember seeing like a poll that showed that he was like the most trusted journalist in America at the time, which is like hilarious because he was not.
And he acknowledges is ridiculous. It should not be
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, exactly.
But as he's aged, he's gotten more, I don't even want to say thoughtful because I think he's always been thoughtful, but I love listening to him speak now and not just telling jokes, but like he takes his time and he finds exactly the right words to convey what he wants. He doesn't rush through things.
Right.
And to me that it's like almost relaxing listening to him, even if he's talking about something that is like a stressful topic.
Right. Everything there is,
I don't know.
There's something to really appreciate about a man, not just a man, about a person who really takes care with their words and really thinks about what they want to say and what they're trying to communicate.
And I'm sorry to jump ahead, but I see Savvy's other comment about Trevor Noah. His memoir, if y'all have not read that, holy moly, it is so good. Lisa, have you not read it?
I have not read it yet, but I really like him a lot.
Highly recommend reading it and getting the audiobook because he narrates it, and I am not joking. I cried laughing. I think it's the only audiobook I've ever listened to that made me laugh like that. It's so good, but also he gets into some really deep stuff about his childhood. It's very good.
Okay, I'm gonna head over to Audible when we do our next.
It's called Born a Crime.
Okay. Oh, I have seen it. In fact, I think I believe I have the hardcover, but I have not read it yet. But I'll get the audiobook because
it's so good.
Love that. All right. So Lainey says my sister and I used to go nuts watching Supermarket Sweep. We would absolutely go for the diapers if there were no hams. Right? Oh my God. You could just load up your cart with 7,000 things of baby formula. That okay, here's $1 million. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Hubby was also on Cops, which is kind of a game show. For those of you who are not in the know, he is in fact a police officer. He was not the guy running through the front yard in his underwear. That was not him. Okay.
Thank you for
all right. Love. You're so welcome. I'm sure Dave is like, oh, thank you for your help. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our 20 minutes, our first 20-minute sprint. Let me put this up on the clock. Yay! All right, everybody, here we go. Gonna make this one count. We're gonna get started in 3, 2, 1, and let those words fly. Here we go. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's cha-cha. All right. How did everybody do on that last sprint?
Very good.
Yay. All right. Let me
Yeah.
just rewind this. I had one of those moments where I was just like so into what I was writing that I did not like, oh, the timer's up, which is always good when you're just like in that sort of flow state. So I have a question. Let's see who we got. So when we talked about, oh, wait, I should give context to this question. Mary says hubby was also on Cops, which is kind of a game show, and I said, just for context, he is in fact a police officer, and she said the guy running in his underwear was my ex, which is kind of funny. Probably not true, but really hilarious. Abby's here. Hello. We are super, super, super excited to see you here. Savvy. Okay, question. What is the device that they use during an ultrasound? The thing that they rub on your stomach to get the images? I believe it's called a wand.
I called it a wand, and then I Googled ultrasound wand, and it says the device is called a transducer.
Well,
which I
there you
had
go.
not heard before, but I guess wand is what we call it.
Yeah, I get right. It's more in a sort of every person. I mean, I was thinking about that because I've had multiple ultrasounds, and my daughter had multiple ultrasounds when she, guys, she had a couple of years ago was in the hospital for a kidney issue, and so she had like 80 ultrasounds, and I was trying to remember like, what do they call that? And I think they sometimes use ultrasound like as a, I'm going to ultrasound you. Like I think they use it sometimes as a verb, but I think that thing is sometimes called a wand. But thank you for getting the official name. So Savvy, you've got both. You've got the unofficial thing and the official thing. Very nice. Susan's here. We already said that. Susan's here. Yay. Review down 160 words into the short story. Nice. That was a quick book review. Good for you. Savvy got 669 words. Savvy, you are killing it today.
Wow.
Are you dictating, or are you just like, are your little fingers just on fire? I could see like she's typing away, and yeah. Mama Word's waiting for upload to finish. Lainey says Doppler wand. That makes sense. Just a casual term. There you go. All right, fantastic. Okay, so I was thinking as we were heading out before our last sprint, I was thinking about game shows I would never want to be on. And and I had to say, I don't think I would want to be like on a Japanese. Well, that's not true. I would totally do the Japanese game show just for the experience of having done it. But I was going to say, if I were going to do any kind of game show, I wouldn't want to do one where I was like coated in any sort of sticky or wet substance. And I don't think I'd want to do Wipeout, because I'm pretty sure I would wipe out like in the first 10 seconds. So there you go.
Yeah.
How about you guys? Anybody else have a game show they would not want to do under any circumstances? I probably do almost anyone just for the fun of it. But yeah,
I would crack under the pressure of all of them. Like I would be so bad at like The Price is Right. I think actually I would be pretty good at guessing the prices of items, but I know I would blank. I remember watching. You remember when Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was huge?
Yes.
My palms would sweat watching that. Like, and I would know some of the answers, but I know if I were the person, nothing. I would know nothing. They make me so anxious.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. Big Brother would totally do. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't want to do The Bachelor. Agreed. Although let me say something. The very first season of The Bachelor, I picked the winner. I was doing a radio interview, and I picked who was going to win like right after the first show. And I was right. And so the second season of The Bachelor, I did this thing that we called Bachelor Slam, where I would do all these radio interviews the morning after The Bachelor and basically just do like a recap of what had happened on the show, which at the time for like morning drive time radio was just perfect. And so I would sort of, say, oh, she did really well with this, or this was a good move, or this is gonna get her kicked off the show. And it was really popular, and I did it with, I don't remember, but it was a lot of radio stations. And I would basically have to get up on the night, like the morning of, like 4:00 in the morning, to do like these, depending on different time zones, but all these different time zones. And I really enjoyed The Bachelor the first season, and by the second season of having to get up at 4:00 in the morning and talk about The Bachelor, and also never being able to miss a single episode of The Bachelor for the entire season, I hated it, and I've never watched it since.
Okay, now my dream, if I had the talent, would be to be on any cooking reality show, like Top Chef or Chopped, or like those are the only reality shows I ever cared about. Or like Great British Bake Off, which is the most feel good thing that has ever
Yes. Yeah.
But
My kids watch that show. They love it.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just very wholesome.
It is. Okay, Savvy says, I could never do Love is Blind. I'm too vain. How could I fall in love with someone if they can't tell me how beautiful I am? Right? Yes. Love Connection to The Bachelor, Finding Love on TV. No, thank you. Oh, you know what I'd never do? 90 Day Fiance. No, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I think like if you did like a date, like the dating game where you're going on one date, I will say when I was in college, like my little sort of go-to line with my girlfriends, when somebody says, oh, what do you do for a living? Like instead of saying, oh, I'm an assistant at an ad agency, I would say, oh, I'm a dating game chaperone. That was like my go-to line for years. Not true, but I'd said it for forever. Any game show I'd have to pick up on cues from people. I'd hate doing something that I had to be faux cheerful, like Big Brother, or God forbid, Love Island. Yeah. The Bachelor is, that's
not my thing.
No. Well, and also like the deck is kind of stacked against you with those kinds of shows. Like, do you guys remember the episode or the season of The Bachelor where the girl like burst into tears and fell down the stairs?
No, I know that.
Okay. Well, it was like everywhere. And I think if we were as memey as we are now, that she would live in infamy forever.
Yeah.
But she cried and fell down the stairs because the producers had not fed them for like 17 hours. They hadn't slept. They're standing around in high heels and full makeup. There's no food and there's a crap ton of alcohol. And so she was, and she's a professional. She has like an MBA. She's this professional woman. Her dad, as I recall, played for the Minnesota Vikings. I do not remember her name, but she hosted a book party for me actually. And, I always felt so bad for her because she was so unfairly painted. And I'm sorry if you don't feed anyone for 17 hours. Yeah. And they were in some foreign country, and like it was just the whole thing. And they were just standing around waiting for this guy to show up. It was probably because they brought the food in after him. Yeah. They weren't crying to see the guy. They're just crying because they're like, I see a wiener over there. I see it. What are they? Pigs in a blanket? Because we haven't eaten for 17 hours. So anyway, love to do the Great British Bake Off. Love that show. This is making me think of all my favorite rom-coms about game shows. Oh, yes. And remember they had that show. I cannot remember what it was, or not show. They had a book about a game show, about a dating expert game show kind of thing that was pretty awesome. Masa says they've never seen these shows. They sound painful to watch. Yes. Oh, this is kind of fun. That is a really fun little show. The show I love right now, I do watch a game show now. It's called Game Changer. And the host is Sam Reich, who is hilarious and like 3 feet tall. And every week the game changes, hence the name Game Changers. So it's like a different game show every week.
Oh,
and they have
cool.
It is really fun, and they have like a rotating cast of characters, and they're all hilarious. So does Maury Povich count as a game show? Because if it is, I would not want to be
Jerry Springer, man. Jerry Springer was like it when I was in high school.
Right.
That's all anybody talked about.
So here's a funny little story about Jerry Springer. He, I feel like he died. Didn't he die not too long ago? I feel like he might have died. Yeah, I'm not sure why I feel like that, but he lives in Sarasota. He lives out on Bird Key, and I have seen him frequently in the same two places. One, the Publix that's close to where he lives, like the closest Publix to where which is a grocery store, and he lives by the cool 2-story Publix where the carts have their own escalator, and at the Barnes and Noble. Like I used to go right at the Barnes and Noble sometimes, and he was in there like every weekend. I would always see him perusing the shelves. Yes, Springer is dead. All right.
Oh man, I missed that.
Dead Set is a good show. Zombie Outbreak, but the Big Brother house doesn't know. Oh, I love that. love that. Yes, isn't that terrible? Oh, yeah. Ugh. All right. It's pretty crazy. Although I will say I got a lot of traction for my dating book off of The Bachelor. Just talking about The Bachelor, talking about like the dumb stuff people would do.
Yeah.
That would invariably get them kicked off The Bachelor. So yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and do. Let's see. The UK had a nasty, trashy version of a nasty, trashy version of Jerry Springer called Jeremy Kyle. Yeah. I don't know why we love that so much. I will confess that the Horror Geek and I watch Mama June every week. That, and then we rotate with that and the show about people dating in prison. Oh God, that's a game show. It's not really a game show, but I would not want to be involved with that. All right. Genuinely upsetting and exploitative. Yeah, that's not good. Love that. All right. Book I'm finishing today is sort of a game show book. It's about a TV chef who wins a cooking competition and then opens his own restaurant. Can you share the title, Savvy? Because that's a really fun premise. Yeah, love that. That could be fun. All right, let's go ahead and do our next sprint. We got to get some writing done today, guys. All right. Whew. Who's ready?
Do it. Me.
Me too. All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to get writing in 3, 2, 1. Let's sprint. right, we are back. How did everybody do on that last sprint? Let us
Good.
know in the chat. Yay! We're making good time. It's 12:22 Eastern time,
Yeah.
and we are we're doing it. We've got it.
Yes.
So we have a new friend whose name I don't have any idea how to pronounce. So please give us a little drop in the comments. Ikari? I have no
I
idea.
thought that was an L. Ikari?
Is it an I? Oh, it could be an. This is
No, I
bad.
think you're right. It's an I.
I think it's I. So yes, if you could please give us a phonetic spelling of your name so we do not massacre it every time, we would love that. But welcome. We are super, super glad you are here. Yes, you were supposed to be here first time. That's awesome. Hope you come next time too. Susan, 100 words, had to do some serious noodling. I feel that, man. 100 words is great though. That's 100 more words than you had when you started today. So very good. I got my little thing done. I'm going back and forth with some with a client on some edits, and so I just wrapped that up. So I'm very glad about that. Savvy got 900 words. The book she's finishing today. This is why she's killing it, because when you are at the end of the book, those words just come out like yeah. Let's see. I was looking because I think we'd asked. Okay, here we go. Savvy says, "I wish I could get into dictating. I just type. I like the sound the keyboard makes. I do too. So I keep on writing to keep hearing that satisfying clickety click." Yes.
That's such a cool keyboard.
I feel it really. I feel it. I relate to it. I'm living that. Jenny says this was very helpful. First time catching your live show. Thank you. Oh, Jenny, thank you so much. We're so glad you're here today. So we have had no substantive writing talk, I don't think today. Well, maybe a little bit, but not very much. Mostly we just talked about our fantasies of being on game shows. But if we had not, then we would not know that our very own Savvy has a game show book coming out. Did you tell us the title? I did not see it. I feel like it's going to have an awesome title though.
Probably.
Avi says the key to entering Lisa's live stream club: phonetics of your name and cocktail nickname. You will go by. True. Very true. Yes. Did you? I missed it. Hold on. Savvy. We have lots and lots of Savvy comments in here, which is kind of funny. I'm not seeing it. You're gonna have to tell us again. All right. Fantastic. So how'd you do on that last one, Michelle?
I was just looking to see what my word count is. I can't remember where I started.
I'm doing edits, so my word count does not matter. But I did make good progress, which is why I was like, yeah.
I think I've got like 5 pages since we started today, which is pretty good.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and get at least one more on the books. I'm feeling good today. If you have a writing question, feel free to drop it in the chat today, and I will go back and look to the archives, because I think we had some that were sent in for last week and the week before that we did not get to. So I'm going to go try and grab those up during this sprint coming up. And so if you guys have questions, we'll get to those first. And if not, then we'll get to the ones that were sent in. All right, here we go, everybody. One more. You know what I did? I do not have the thing replayed. Hold on. There we go. So I always think it's so funny that YouTube puts a fireplace video right after my beachy video, and I'm kind of like, why the fireplace right after the beach? I guess everybody loves a fire on the beach, so that's it right there. Yeah, that just makes perfect sense. All right, everybody, we are going to go ahead and get started on this in 3, 2, 1. Let's cha-cha. All right, we are back. Let's get rid of this banner. So we had a couple good questions. One of them comes from LK, and LK wants to know, Michelle, what made you get into doing YouTube videos?
The short version is one, the pandemic and quarantine and being bored, and two, I had a bunch of material for like writing workshops, like writing lessons, and I thought it would be fun to turn that into a YouTube channel. That's pretty much it.
That is a great answer. That's a really great answer. So Mary had a great question. Also, she said she feels like she has to order a Bloody Mary because wherever I go, it's got my name in it. True. I weirdly love, like, I love Bloody Marys, but I almost never have one unless I'm like on an airplane. I don't, right? Because if I'm going to have brunch, I typically go for the mimosa over the Bloody Mary. But I do love them. And if someone like, is serving them on a little tray, I will definitely have one for sure. I like them extra spicy though. That's just me. All right. Mary's got a good question. I have questions about ghostwriting. Like, what was I thinking when I signed on to do it? Tips for surviving the process. So, as we are both working on ghost projects right now, I'm going to let you answer first because I feel like you've done more ghostwriting than I have. I mean, I've done quite a bit, but I feel like every week you are doing more.
Yes, I do a lot of ghostwriting. I'm curious, Mary, as to what is like making it not survivable for you. But like for me, when I think about the periods that I've gone through where I'm like, oh God, why am I doing this? One, don't take on too much, especially in the beginning. Like I've gotten myself into trouble having too many projects at once. And so there's that. But I think that the biggest thing for me is no matter how good the money is, do not take on a project unless it is a book that a concept you are excited about writing.
Yes.
Like you just can't force it. Even though it's not your book, even though it's not going to be your name on it, it's still a story you have to tell. You have to write a whole ass novel. And if you don't like the premise or the characters or the world or something, then like it's going to be an absolute awful process for you.
Yeah. Well, Mary's writing ghostwriting memoirs. And so
Ooh, okay, that is a different thing than what I do.
Right.
Well,
So
no, actually no, it's not. If it's a
it's
perfect
not,
read,
it is and it's not.
interesting.
She
Yeah.
also has, like, at any point for you, right? You're telling a great story. They're excited for it to come to light. Your client's excited for it to come to life. I imagine probably some challenges include, at least for fiction, that they have this story in their head which they cannot get out on paper, but sometimes it also makes it hard for your clients to articulate, like if they want something that's different or a little, like if you've sort of gone in one direction and they don't really have the words or the expertise to tell you. That I think can be kind of challenging.
Right.
I think for Mary, like, so imagine you're ghostwriting a novel, but then you also have the person, your client, who's like, oh, but here's this thing that really happened. And a lot of times people, when you're writing nonfiction or writing a memoir, they want to include details in the story because they really happened, even if they don't actually add anything to the narrative. They are something that, like you could literally write every day in let's just say we're talking about like a true crime novel. You could add in, it was 78 degrees. It was 78 degrees. It was 70. Like that could be true for every chapter. However, it's not very exciting and it doesn't really add to anything unless it's 110 degrees and that somehow has, some relevance to what happened. So I feel like, I think memoirs are probably among the most challenging ghostwriting projects to
Yeah,
do.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Because you have this real person who wants to tell their story, but often they don't know which parts of their story, like they don't understand the concept of a narrative, and so they want to add stuff in that really
And it,
shouldn't
like,
be there.
yeah, she said you mentioned something about it being like
Your
parts of
expression on your face.
I'm thinking about it because I've never done that before, and I'm thinking about it now. And sometimes it's hard for me, like if I'm working with a client who's just they're super passionate about the story, and I have to tell them this thing about this character or this, you have to let go that it doesn't work. That's
Right.
hard enough. Telling somebody that something in their own life is not going to come out right on paper, or they need to that would
Right.
be really hard.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, and then so let's talk about Mary. I assume it's okay to talk about the book directly. So Mary's got extra like send me a quick message if it's not, and I'll just stop where I am. But we've talked about it enough on the show that I feel like you're probably okay with it. So one of the challenges for Mary is that this book, Tricked, is about a girl who was sex trafficked and who eventually was able to, get herself together and escape. And she's bold and brassy and funny and interesting, but also in that kind of story there's a lot of trauma and a lot of like revealing some really personal stuff that that, and this happens with um with any memoir writer, that sometimes there are things that including them would certainly make the story more relatable or would really drive home, why they did this thing about this. But it's so personal or traumatic, it's really hard to like let that out into the world.
Right.
So, yeah. And I know for a fact, like one of the things that's happened with Mary's book is that the subject of the memoir and the author, I mean Mary's the author, but obviously the client's name is on the front of the book with hers. And like just going back and like changing names, like a lot of characters started out as one person and now their name has been changed 17 times because it feels like you want to say the real person's name, but then you don't want to say the real person's name, and then you're trying to find something that fits. And so yeah. So that's a challenging thing. See, Avi, I'm not crazy. I also went back during the chat or during this print, and I could not find it. So maybe substitute a letter or something if it is inappropriate or something.
I scrolled up and I didn't see it either.
I know.
Sometimes, depending on
Sometimes
who's
it just
live
doesn't
stream,
go. Yeah.
it's on, the comment doesn't go through, and it's kind of
Right. Okay, so everybody else is saying the same thing. All right. Okay, so Savvy's going to try again. Still not seeing it. Okay, so Jenny had asked a great question, also related. I feel like there's a lot of mystery about ghostwriting. 2 questions. Any suggestions on where to learn more about it? And 2, how prevalent is it in the publishing world? So I'm going to let you take, I feel like, so I'll tell you my road and Michelle can tell you her road to ghostwriting. Do you want to go first, Michelle?
Yeah, sure, I can go first. Well, how prevalent is it in the publishing world? I don't know. Like, I would love to see statistics. I think that would be really interesting. I feel like the vast majority of like celebrity memoirs, there's probably a ghostwriter involved. Of course, we don't know that for sure because it's ghost for a reason.
Right.
I also have seen in recent years that there has been more of a cry for more transparency, and there is a shift towards publishers using the phrase collaborative writer instead of ghostwriter, both in terms
Right.
of like contract but also like public facing, because people like
Right.
knowing, oh, this person worked with someone to write it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Transparency. Anyway, all that said, my road to like the way I started is actually because I did so much IP work, which stands for intellectual property, which is where publishers would come up with an idea and I would work with the editor and they would give me an outline or some ideas, as it wasn't my idea, and I would
Right.
develop it. And that's close enough to ghostwriting that I felt pretty comfortable after a couple years putting a profile up on Readsy and saying, hey, if you want me to ghostwrite your book, I'll do it. And I
Right.
just slowly built up a client list that way. So yeah, but I don't feel like I really helped answer either of those questions.
No,
Sorry.
I think it is. I don't know how, like so my route is a little bit different than yours.
Okay.
It's kind of funny. So after I started this channel, I got quite a few requests for help with like for book coaching requests, and where people would want me to help them to write their books. And sometimes in that process, you'd have a client that say like, I really want to do this, but I feel like it's going to be too much work. Can I pay you to do it instead? And that is how I got my first book coaching, not book coaching clients, but how I got my first ghostwriting clients. And I'd also done some work, like Beauty was one of those work for hire books for Razorbill, which is an imprint of Penguin, which is basically a retelling from an opposite sex retelling of Big, and with that movie with Tom Hanks from the 80s that we all know and love. So so I had also done some work for hire books, and I haven't really pursued much fiction ghostwriting. Like if I've been interested in the project, I've certainly done projects that have come to me, but I have not like taken that out on Reedsy, the ghostwriting thing. So, but I do fewer of them than you do, but I think I do a lot more nonfiction than you do. So yeah, so that's how I started. And I agree with Michelle. I think in memoirs in particular, celebrity memoirs and business memoirs, super common to have a ghostwriter. Super common. I think it's becoming more common in fiction where people have an idea they really want. One of my ghostwriting clients that I have right now had several great ideas for a book. She's super excited about it. She wrote the first draft, and I'm basically doing a cleanup of that draft and adding in like some additional sex scenes, which she felt like she was not super comfortable with writing. So yeah, so that's what we're doing. So yeah, so it's like so that's it. Mary has like a really good take here. I think ghostwriting a personal story memoir is extra hard because you're part therapist. I'm getting a lot. Oh, sorry, we missed that part. But yes, I think there's some truth to that too.
That's
the other it is. And then and I'm going to be the first person to say this. It has to be challenging to ghostwrite memoirs in some ways because many people want to tell their life story, but their life story is not really interesting to anyone outside their own family. And that like having that conversation or trying to glean some every person experience out of a life. Great session today. I'm going to look into work for hire. I will tell you, sometimes your agent, if you have a lit agent, sometimes they just know about projects that are happening.
Yeah, that's the best place to start.
Yeah, the ones that I have gotten have all come from like editors who already knew me. It was both my projects that I did that were work for hire were for Penguin. So I already was well, that's not true. One was for St. Martin's, one was for Penguin. So Jenny says, I admire you two for ghostwriting. I can barely write my own work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine falls by the wayside sometimes.
Yeah. You know what? I've done 3 actually, because I did a work for hire book. If you look, my one, I shouldn't say my one. So my Beauty was like they initially called it young adult, but honestly it's closer to a middle grade novel. But I did do a nonfiction middle grade book that's called Pop Music for a company that only basically have they're a book packager for like schools. And so it was a flat rate. It was a short nonfiction book on pop music. And they also had like a country music book written by somebody else and a hip hop book and all that. And so nobody actually like buys it off my Amazon page, but it sells really well in schools, which is because it's like a book report book. Right.
Yeah,
like if you're going to write, if you're in 4th grade and you're going to write a book report on Taylor Swift, my book is the one that you're going to cite.
That's
all
nice.
Right. I know, right? It's kind of fun. You would be great though, Lainey. You're so plugged in and you like know a ton of people in the industry. So I think if you wanted to do more work for hire work, you definitely could do it. Ooh, Mary's got a friend who ghosts for Robert Ludlum, but he gets his name in books listed too, which has helped his own career a lot. I know a few other examples like this in fiction. Yes, get to know James Patterson. He doesn't write any of his own books, although he does outline them. So you have your name right next to his. Good experience, I think. Even if you don't like his books, just to see his insane production process. I would pay cash money for a look like under the hood with that. What are your thoughts on ghostwriting from an experience you don't have firsthand? Ergo, you're a white man, not ergo, e.g., you're writing a white man writing about a Black woman's experience. First, if you're a white man, you should not take that assignment. There are plenty of authors that are going to do a better job with that. This is just my opinion, but I think it's like writing fiction. You research the heck out of it, and you check in with your client and ask them, like, "Hey,
Yeah, I
what was
think my
it like?"
short answer is they just have, as long as the client is extremely involved.
Yeah, right, which is
Like
good.
they're giving the perspective and the materials, and the writer is just putting it into prose.
Right. It's
Yeah, so
challenging though. It's challenging
sure,
because you
yeah,
have right. I mean, you have to construct conversations that may or may not have happened or may have happened in a different way, and it really is a challenge. I think ghostwriting memoirs is, like I said, I've done nonfiction and fiction, and I'm working on a nonfiction like memoir / self-help book right now, and a ghosting project for that, and it's challenging. It's really challenging. His
mhm,
his thing was he started with a lot more material, and we had to like really sort of create something that was useful to other people.
yeah.
But yeah, it's challenging. Savvy, we still don't know the name of your book.
Oh
I
yeah, we
know.
do. She said it.
Oh,
I saw it.
oh,
I saw it. I have to scroll back down.
wait,
If you
wait.
can't take the heat, which is a great title.
If you can't take the heat, I
Yeah.
love it. That is a very fantastic title for a cooking game show rom-com. I love it. I love it. All right, you guys are awesome. We have gone over today chit-chatting about ghostwriting. But this was a lovely conversation. You guys are awesome, and we love you to pieces. So we are going to say goodbye. And thanks very much for
Goodbye.
being here. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye all.